There is no reason why I haven't finished Thunder Rolling on the Mountains. Ashley Black, so I don't know what to do. And it would be really disappointing if I didn't end up finishing a book. Hello and welcome back to my channel. This video is going to be a little bit of an experiment. I'm not sure if it's going to work or not, but I'm going to try to read 7 books in 7 days. In the midst of this, I'm also doing Vlogmas right now, so I'm vlogging every single day and I'm also editing every single day to try to get a video uploaded. So we will see how this works. I don't know how I'm going to read an entire book, do a whole vlog, edit a whole vlog, and post a whole vlog all in one day, but we're going to try our best and see if we can get this. I am really excited for this challenge because my Goodreads goal at the beginning of the year was 120 books, and right now I am at 92 books. So that is very far off, and we are in December. This is our last month to do this, so I don't think I'm going to reach my goal for this year, but I still want to read as many books as possible before the year ends, and I think this is a perfect challenge to get a lot of reading done. I'm going to say that I started this yesterday because I did finish a book yesterday. I finished Between Shades of Grey. I talked about this in a different vlog. I'll have it on the screen which vlog it is, so you can hear more of my thoughts on this book. I love this book. It is probably the best book I've read this entire year. One of the best books I've ever read in my life. It is amazing and so good, and I highly recommend it. But you can hear me talk more about this book in another vlog. Now I am currently reading Escape from Warsaw, and my husband actually recommended this book to me. He had 2 books that he wanted me to read a few months ago, and I still haven't gotten to them. And I really wanted another World War II book after this book. I just was really feeling in the historical fiction mood, and I wanted another one. And so my husband reminded me that he let me borrow this book a while ago and that I need to read it. So I started this last night. I'm really enjoying it so far. I'm on chapter 4 right now, so not very far at all, but I'm really enjoying it, and it's also a very small book, so I'm sure I'll be able to finish this by the end of the day. And then I also have some Kindle books going on right now, plus an audiobook. I'm listening to Charles Dickens' A Christmas Carol right now. I have never read that book before, so I'm really excited. I'm really enjoying listening to the book because I haven't watched the actual movie either. I've watched the Muppets version and the Mickey's version, and so I obviously know the story of it, but I've never seen the actual movie or read the book. And the book is really witty and funny, and I found myself like laughing over some of the stuff that's happening. So I'm really enjoying like just the style of writing so far, and it's really fun, and I think it's just a classic that needs to be read this Christmas. And I've also gotten it recommended to me by a lot of other people. And then also today I literally just started this while I was eating because I didn't want to mess up my physical book, so I started this book, The Lost Story by Meg Schaefer. I read another book by Meg Schaefer in March, The Wishing Game, and I love that book so much. And so after that, I put this book on my Libby's hold, and it's finally ready for me to read. And so I finally started reading it today, and this book I think is like kind of like a fantasy almost, but it takes place in West Virginia, which is where I'm originally from and where I've lived all of my life until I got married. And then we lived in Ohio, but just right across the river. Like, it still was West Virginia to us. Every time I said my address, I still said I lived in West Virginia. Now we live deeper into Ohio, so we can't still claim West Virginia, sadly, but West Virginia will always live in my heart, and it is definitely like my home state, and I love it so much. So it's really fun to read a book that is set in the place of West Virginia, and I'm excited to get deeper into the book and to see what happens. So I'm not literally going to read one book every single day and try to finish it. I might read 1.5 books one day, and then I only have to read half of a book the next day. My goal is to read 7 books by the end of the week, and we will see what happens and if I can do that. But at the same time, I will be doing other vlogs where I might talk about these books in the vlogs or do other fun activities in the vlogs. So we will see how this works. Like I said, this is an experiment, but I thought this would be a lot of fun to do, and there is a high chance that it doesn't get accomplished and I don't read 7 books in 7 days. But no matter what, I know this is going to be fun, and hopefully it is entertaining content for you. last night I finished Escape from Warsaw, and I did really enjoy this book. I'd probably rate it 4 stars. I did really enjoy the story and the kids. The ending to me seemed kind of anticlimactic, even though, I don't know, like obviously a lot happened and stuff, but I don't know. I don't know. But it was still really good and I really enjoyed it, and it was exactly what I wanted with the World War II, like wanting to read something else in that era. And so I love that about this book. Yesterday I forgot to talk about another book that I started, which is Just Once by Karen Kingsbury. I didn't get very far in this book, chapter 4. This book is a lot different than Karen Kingsbury's other writings because this is a World War II fiction. In the book, it's kind of like somebody else is writing the story. This book is about Ervil and Hank, who are part of the Baxter family series. In a way, Ervil especially was at a nursing home that Ashley Baxter in the Baxter family series that she worked at for a while, and Ervil was one of her favorite patients. So this book is a story about them too, and Ervil was apparently a spy during World War II, and now her story is finally being shared in this book that's being written by her granddaughter. But anyway, this book, I don't know, something about it was not what I wanted when I was reading it. I was wanting another World War II book, and I tried this. Something was missing for me, and so I'll probably still read this. I definitely want to finish this before the year's over still. But that's what made me pick this book instead. My husband recommended this, and this was a much better fit for what I wanted. But I still am looking forward to finishing this. It hasn't really gotten to the World War II part yet. It's just telling how the couple met and all of that stuff. So I'm sure I'll like it more once it picks up to that part. But I just needed to get straight into the action, and this book did it for me. So after I finished that at like 5 o'clock. So I still had plenty of time left in the day to read. And I started The Lost Story by Meg Schaefer, and I'm now on chapter 8. And this is a book about these 2 lost boys who are lost in West Virginia. I am from West Virginia. I feel like I explained this all already, so if I did, I'm sorry. But I'm originally from West Virginia, and West Virginia is my home state. I love West Virginia. I wanted to read this book because I knew it took place in West Virginia. This is a fantasy book that takes place in West Virginia, which is a little like strange and weird, but I'm loving it. Like, I love hearing things, and I'm like, I know exactly what they're talking about. I can relate to them. So it starts off with these 2 boys who are lost, and they are found in the like, I don't think it was chapter 1, I think it was like the prologue of the book. They're found, and then it switches to this girl who is searching for one of the boys, because one of the boys who was lost and then found now finds other girls. He does not find boys for some reason, but he does find girls and women who are missing, and he is always successful with finding these women, like it's almost like magic or something. But he does say that there's one woman that he hasn't been able to find, which is really interesting to me. And this girl is trying to find him because she has a sister who was missing, and she wants to find this sister. Well, it turns out, and I don't know how much of this is a spoiler, so sorry, but it turns out that this girl that she's looking for, her sister, is a girl who was in the woods lost with them. So that's really interesting to me. I'm really enjoying the book so far. It's really captivating, and I just want to know what is going to happen. I'm really excited to see what's going on and all the magical elements behind the book, and I love that it's set in West Virginia. And so I'm going to continue reading that today. I am hoping to finish it by the end of today. I am a little afraid that I will not. I'm on chapter 8, which is page 76 of 335. So I know that it's possible for me to finish it, but I'm just still scared. There still is some cushion if I don't finish a book, because I'm also listening to an audiobook, and I'm actually almost done with the audiobook. So it's okay if I don't finish, because it will be super easy to finish an audiobook and another book on the same day, maybe, if I'm not too busy. Tomorrow I have a road trip, so there's a chance I can read multiple books on that one day on that road trip. So I'm not too worried about not getting 7 books in 7 days, but I still want to the best of my ability, get a whole book done by the end of the day, just so I'm not stressed out about trying to get a whole bunch of books done by the end of the week. I'm enjoying this challenge so far. I'm having fun reading, and I'm really excited to read more of this book. chapter 11 of this book. I really did not get far at all, but I am really nervous because I think the two main characters in this book, which are both male, are going to end up together. And if that is the case, I probably will stop reading this book. I am not positive yet, so I'm going to continue reading it, but I have a feeling that that's the way that's going to go with the way that certain things have happened so far. And a certain thing just happened in the book and I was like, no, are they going to make these characters gay? And it reminded me of something that happened earlier, because I actually was going to pick this book for a book club book with my mom and my sister when we did our book club at the beginning of the year. I was going to pick this book, but whenever I went to look it up to buy it, I realized it was under the category LGBT, and I was like, yeah, I don't think we should do that one after all. Now that I'm remembering that and reading this book, it's making me think even more that it's going to lean that way. And so I have to decide if I just want to push through and continue reading it and hope that I'm wrong, which I'm probably not, or push through and read it even if I'm not wrong and just endure, or just DNF it right now instead of continuing to read it and then having to DNF it later on, which I don't want to do. And it would be really disappointing if I DNF'd it, because first of all, I really was enjoying the story and like the fact that it's in West Virginia and thought that was so interesting, and wondering like why these boys stayed in the woods so long. And it makes so much sense if they stayed in the woods that long because they liked each other, and if they left the woods they wouldn't be able to do what they wanted to do. It makes so much sense that that's the way that's going to lead, and that is not what I want to read at all. So I don't know what to do, because I'm trying to read 7 books in 7 days, and if I DNF then I have to pick up the slack of 100 pages, which it really isn't that much. I'm on page 98, so that's really not that much, especially if I pick a small book. It won't hurt me at all, but it just would be so disappointing if I had to DNF it. I don't know what I'm going to do. What would you do if you were in this situation? I'm curious. Yeah, I'll let you know and keep you updated, but ugh, I hate that this happened. I decided to officially DNF this book because of what I googled and read. Not worth it to me, but my husband found me a book. He won't tell me anything about this book, so I was hoping he would if I put the camera on, but
it's historically accurate.
I asked him if I would like it and he said I'm not saying anything. So great, that's very helpful. But it's very short, so at least I can probably finish this book tonight and stay on my goal.
You can do it. Easy read. Easy read.
Let's read. Hello again. It has been a few days. Today is actually the last day for me to try to read 7 books in 7 days. So I'm going to give an update on what I have read so far and where I stand today. I already talked about Between Shades of Grey and Escape from Warsaw, the first 2 books that I read. On Sunday, I was reading The Lost Story or something like that, and I ended up DNFing it because of the content that was in it. I started a different book. There is no reason why I haven't finished Thunder Rolling on the Mountains yet. This book is so short and so easy to read. I just haven't read it. So I feel like I should have, and I feel really bad about being so behind on this. So I'm definitely going to finish this book today. It's very short. I have about 40 pages left or something like that. So it will not take me long at all. This book is pretty interesting. I'm enjoying it. I did not know much about the history of this book. My husband had to give me a whole history lesson before I started it because I just like to know what I'm reading about and what's going on. And so he gave me a whole history lesson on this time whenever these Indians were being pushed from their home, and I just think that is not fair at all. So I'm really interested in the story. The only thing about this book is that they have the strangest names ever, and I kind of am annoyed at reading the names, and sometimes I don't even realize it's a name until I'm just really confused about it. Like Swan Necklace, Thunder Rolling on the Mountain is somebody's name. Just really strange names. But I'm hoping to finish this book definitely today. I don't think I gave an update on Monday, but I did finish a book on Monday. I started reading Just Once by Karen Kingsbury, and I started this book a little while ago. Didn't get very far into it, maybe like 50 pages or so. But I started this book because it was like a World War II story. It was taking kind of a while to get to that point, and it did take a while to get to the war. I think like over 100 pages, and it took even longer for us to like really see involvement in the war with our main characters. In a way, it was mentioned before that, but like 200 pages is when it really picks up, and by then the story's almost over. So it was a slow start and very slow to begin with, but I did really enjoy the story and getting to see Ervil and Hank's backstory. They have known each other for a very long time, so I just figured they would have gotten together very young and got married and started their family, but actually that is not what happened at all. There was a lot of miscommunication in the book. Many other relationships, including Ervil was with his brother for a long time, and so it was kind of frustrating to read because it's like, just talk to each other. Why are you like not saying that you like each other, and why are you entertaining other people if you like somebody else? I'm not a fan of people doing that. I think it's not fair. It causes a lot of broken hearts, and so I was not a fan of that, but it does get a lot better, and I really enjoyed the war aspect of the story and her being a spy. It wasn't very war heavy at all. Like, it just didn't really mention it that much. I feel like a lot of liberty was taken, and it was just specifically about these two people and what they were enduring. It wasn't really like a lot of historical things that I love reading, like historical fiction in general. I love seeing things that like really happen in history, and like those stories that come together, like that are based from true stories. And this just didn't really seem like that, and it didn't have a whole lot of the history of the war in it. So for that reason, it wasn't as good in my opinion, but I really did enjoy the story. It just took me a little while to get into it, but I would give this one 4 stars for sure. And then Tuesday, I finished A Christmas Carol audiobook. That was very easy to do. I meant to read another book as well, just so I could catch up since I still haven't read a book Sunday, but once again, I didn't. I was planning on finishing this book that day, but I didn't. So it was just A Christmas Carol on Tuesday. But I really enjoyed that story. A classic, a wonderful Christmas book. If you're looking for a Christmas book, that is like the #1 Christmas book that you should read. It's just such a good Christmas story. And then yesterday, Wednesday, I didn't read anything. I did start a new audiobook while I was cleaning up, because yesterday's vlog was me cleaning. And so I started an audiobook called How the Finch Stole Christmas by Donna Andrews, and I'm not really enjoying this story that much, to be honest. I am going to finish it just because I don't want to DNF another book, but I'm not really into it. I'm on chapter 10 right now, so it's still really early on in the book, and this is kind of like almost a mystery. My camera died. I'm just not really enjoying the story very much. It's about this wife whose husband is like directing this show of some sort, and they hired a guy who is just really sketchy. He's like an alcoholic, and he's just not the best employee of the show, and he doesn't always show up, and if he does, he's drunk, and it's just not a good situation. So the wife is trying to figure out what is going on. There's also some kind of like animal poaching, maybe not poaching, but just stealing of some sort. I don't really understand it, to be honest. I'm hoping that it picks up as I read it more. I don't want to DNF it, and I don't plan on DNFing it just because I feel like I need to finish this book, especially since I still have to finish another book today. So today, by the end of today, I need to finish 3 books to get 7 books in 7 days. And I feel like it's very plausible to happen. Like, it's not going to be that hard, especially since I'm already listening to this audiobook, which audiobooks are a lot quicker to indulge in anyway, so that won't take very long. And then that short book will be super easy to finish, and then just one other book besides that, which that's going to be the hardest part. So maybe I can find another short book to read for that 3rd book. But I really don't feel like this is going to be too hard. I'm just going to spend the day reading, basically. I still do have to teach school. I still have to edit a video. The video that actually is supposed to be posted today, I haven't edited that video at all yet, so I need to do that. But thankfully, I can listen to that audiobook while I'm doing most things, and then that short book will not take me long at all, so that's good. I feel like we can do this. We will see if I'm just over ambitious and this was too much for me. I'm actually really excited to finish this challenge because it has been hard to read a book every single day and edit a video and post a video and film another video. It has been very difficult. Haven't been too stressed out, but at the same time, like, it's on my mind. That is all for right now. I will update you whenever I finish a book. Okay, I never came back last night because I didn't end up finishing a book. I thought it would be easy, but apparently I overestimated how busy the day would be, and I ended up getting way busier. I actually listened to that audiobook like literally all day, it felt like, but I still didn't finish it. I wasn't listening to it in a very fast speed. I think I had it on 1.25 speed, so not very sped up. Still, I listened to it for the majority of the day and still didn't finish it. So I'm going to finish that this morning. Today's vlog, I'm going to be crocheting and working on my book blanket, so I'm able to finish listening to that audiobook and then maybe even starting a new audiobook. I'm right now in an audiobook phase since I'm so busy and I can't literally sit and read. I can at least listen to an audiobook while I do other things. That audiobook, like I said, I'm just not really enjoying it. It's definitely not my style of genre. It is like a mystery, and I really am not a big fan of mysteries. I don't know what it is about mysteries, but I just do not care. I feel like it's always so silly that the person is trying to figure out all these things and get the clues, and I'm like, why don't you just mind your own business? So I'm not really enjoying the story, but I am close to finishing it and I'm excited to finish it. And then that thin book, my husband really wants to talk to me about that book, so I need to finish that too, and it won't take me long. I just need to actually dedicate my time to doing it. So yeah, this challenge was definitely a fail, sadly, and I do want to try it again, maybe when I'm not as busy and not doing a vlog every single day. That was very difficult. I had to spend a big chunk of yesterday editing my vlog to post for yesterday. Even though it was such a short vlog, it still took so long to edit it, so that also took up time where I could have been reading. So I would love to do this video again whenever I'm not so busy, and I'm sure I'll be able to do it easy. It also really hurt me when I had to DNF that book because I had spent so much time in that book and then had to stop reading it and start a new book. And so that really threw me off too. I feel like if that didn't happen, I would have been a lot more on my game. But anyway, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you have any suggestions for more reading challenges, let me know below in the comments, and like this video if you enjoyed it, and subscribe if you haven't already. I'll see you in tomorrow's video. Bye!